with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
All right, Mondays in the rearview mirror. We focus on the Kings and the Denver Nuggets tonight. And joining us from Denver, Colorado, I know he had a rough few moments here in his hotel. An elevator wouldn't work. Hopefully he's all settled in and ready for the game. Kyle Draper, what's up, Drapes?
Hey, what's up, man? I tell you what, this experience game day is much better than last experience. Remember last time I was in Denver, I walked up the steps to get to the broadcast location. G-Man came up. I was like, G-Man, you got to be out of breath. You got to be tired. How'd you walk up all those steps? He said, Drake, I just took the elevator. That's right there. So I found the elevator this time, so I'm off to a much better start today. I'm ready today.
Good. Do you have any words of wisdom or encouragement for Kings fans who are still, to a degree, we're still kind of picking ourselves off the deck after that stunning loss on Monday?
I would just say to Kings fans as we begin this show, the goals are still the same. Whether you're the 4th seed, 7th seed, 8th seed, it doesn't matter. This team ultimately will be judged by what they do during the postseason. And I understand this regular season, Whitey, it's not as enjoyable as last season. A lot of heartache, a lot of issues like, oh my God, how are we losing to these teams that we should be beating, especially when they're shorthanded? But I remind you, what the Miami Heat did last year, and I'm not saying we're going to the NBA Finals. I'm saying it's still a possibility. Imagine being a Miami Heat fan last year. You're upset all season long.
Yeah.
You're the 7th seed in the play. You lose your first game at home, mind you. Let's not forget they lost their first game. So you got a winner-take-all, a do-or-die situation just to get into the play, and then ultimately it all worked out for them. If you ask Miami Heat fans, they had a successful season. So I urge Sacramento Kings fans, and I'm one of them, obviously, don't get your panties in the bundle. It's still time. Everything will be okay. Let's judge this team by what they do, the full 82 and the postseason.
By the way, speaking of the Heat, you remember we were talking to Eric Reed on Monday, and I made that joke about, well, if DeMar DeRozan's daughter had been at the other play-in game and he gave me a look, I actually talked to him after that down when we're, in the dining area.
Yeah.
And he said, I totally forgot about that. So I said, I was afraid I offended you. He was very nice. He said, thanks for having me on. But the look he gave me is because he just wasn't sure of the reference I was making. So
it wasn't because he didn't like your joke or anything right. Or you offended him. Or,
right.
So you were worried about that, man.
I was.
That bothered you. That thing fell hard as a rock. That was brutal.
It did. Now, yesterday you were telling us that we shouldn't be as surprised as some of us were that the Kings came up short against the shorthanded Heat. Now, why is that? Yesterday you were saying, hey, it's not a surprise. And you're not the only one saying this.
Yeah. I think, we can talk about them being shorthanded. And that's not my issue. I look at the style of play the Miami Heat brings. Whether it's number 1, Jimmy Butler, or number 13, Highsmith. Like they have a style of play that bothers the Sacramento Kings. I was in the film session with the team today, and I'm glad Mike Brown showed this, because a lot of times we watch the game, we're like, oh, the Kings actually played pretty well. Well, when you go back and look at the film, you see why the Miami Heat won, why the Kings did not. The Miami Heat, they were closer to the ball, quicker to the ball. Just the effort, the compete level was higher. And that's what Miami does. They bring it every single night. So it didn't surprise me. If you don't match their intensity, match their compete level, you will get beat, just as the Boston Celtics last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. So when it's all said and done, I'm not shocked that we lost that game.
We had the discussion yesterday, Jay and I, about effort, because Keegan, among others, talked about, and we've heard this a lot this year, we can control our own effort. And when you think about it after a tough loss, in a way that borders on unacceptable. You're implying that you didn't give effort. We know this team, they're not a bunch of dogs, but why do we hear so much about we didn't give the effort? Are we really talking there, Kyle? You just used the word intensity. We're talking about playing harder than you think. Well, you think you're playing hard. You need to play harder, and you need to be more focused and more intense. It's not just a matter of going out and giving effort. You have to have intensity. That's, I think, what Mike Brown's trying to get out of his team.
Yeah, and it's a process,
Yeah.
It's we talk so much about Heat culture, and that's something that they demand. We got to get to a point where we as coaches and front office and organization, we demand that. It takes time. To your point, guys may think they're playing hard, but then you go back and look at the film. It's like, man, you could have closed out better. Man, you missed this back cut. Man, you should have sprinted back on defense. All those things that happen during the game, you necessarily don't notice. Then you look at the film and you say, how did we lose to this team? Oh, I see. They were the more aggressive team. They were quicker to the ball. They were the more intense team. And so let's be honest. And we may want all our teams and players to give 100% every single time. But let's be honest. They're human, Whitey. Do we always give 100% every single time in our life? Do we always give 100% on our show that we're doing right now? Some days I come in, and this no offense to you, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm in a bad mood, but I got to do it. But it's not my 100%. I do my best, and then you look back and, man, I got through that show. It was a rough day. And so these guys, ultimately, that's the goal, to get them to 100%. But even the Miami Heat have some off nights, some down nights. And so I'm not going to beat them up too much. Fans may get on them. Media members may get on them. But it happens in the NBA.
Why couldn't you say, there's days I come in and I'm not in the best of moods. Why do you have to say there's days I come in, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you.
I'm sorry.
That's a little passive aggressive.
I know it's nothing personal.
I mean, there's other ways you can say that. That's all. I hate
maybe
you.
That came out wrong. My bad. That came out wrong. But seriously, whether it's you or Jay, I'm like, I don't feel like dealing. Niners win a game. I don't feel like coming in dealing with this mess tonight. Today it happens. And so I think, when you look at what the Kings did the other night, they thought they played hard. But once you go back and look at the films, the things they did against the Clippers, they were non-existent against the Miami Heat.
I think it's also especially important for this team to play with that intensity because they are giving up a lot defensively. They're not a great defensive team. Individually, they don't have great defenders, so you have to compensate for that somehow. And I think that's what Mike Brown is trying to get them to, the point where they bring that physicality and that, I guess, scrappiness. It's an overused term, but I think Mike Brown wants the Kings to be scrappier, especially on the defensive end, Kyle, and I do too.
I'm with you. I'm 100%, and there's two ways we can go with this discussion right now, Whitey. You mentioned they don't have necessarily great individual on-ball defenders. Maybe you go out there and get somebody. Maybe that's why I wanted Dylan Brooks. But then I look at what we saw the other night against Miami. Sometimes you need a player or a couple of players to manufacture that energy, that toughness. Who's the guy that's going to, ratchet up the intensity for this team on the defensive end when he gets in the game? We know Malik can do it offensively, the pace, the movement, the passing. But who's the guy that can change the tone of a game defensively by getting after it? I think of guys around the league, Marcus Smart, Dylan Brooks, Pat Beverly when he was at his best. Jose Alvarado, to an extent, can muck it up a little bit. Who's our guy that does that? But secondly, when we talk about this not being a good defensive team, individually, I'm noticing, and I saw it during the film today, a lot of things this team could control where they fell asleep on the defensive end. And against a team like Miami, you can't fall asleep. I mean, you got guys in the corner cutting back door, and our guys are just looking, ball watching instead of keeping ball, you and man. Keep your eye on both. We lose sight of the guy in the corner. He cuts back door. Highsmith had a couple buckets like that. And so I don't think it's all on just individual defense. I think it's the focus and the effort that Keegan Murray was talking about, Harrison Barnes may have been talking about. It's like at points during the game, we fall asleep a little bit. We lose focus.
Yeah, you can't do that when physically you're already at a disadvantage. I thought it was remarkable, Drapes, in an NBA game. You don't see this often where a team is struggling so much to play man-to-man defense that the coach has to go to zone. You see that in the NBA where, hey, we'll throw in a zone, we'll change it up a little bit. But basically the Kings had to do that because they couldn't guard people. Now, a lot of it, to your point, can be because they weren't doing the things they needed to do. But you don't see that a lot in the NBA where the coach has to go, we can't guard these guys. We got to go zone. I think, we can quibble about whether that's really why they did it or not. But either way, I think that is something that the Kings could benefit from down the road playing more zone defense against certain teams, and Denver could be one of those teams tonight.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you look at a team like Miami, they go a zone a lot.
Yes.
And so I think you have to coach your personnel. And so Mike Brown may want them to be lockdown perimeter defenders one-on-one, but sometimes, especially like we saw the other night when Miami was just killing us in the half-court set.
Yeah.
You got to switch it up. You got to change it up. And, he mentioned it afterwards. He probably should have went to zone a little earlier, but it's on the players too, man.
Oh, yeah.
You go to zone, and then all of a sudden the players want to get after it defensively. They want to get deflections. They want to get tie-ups. Where was that, in the first three quarters? And so it's a blame to go around. Mike and the players, maybe if he would have went earlier, it might have made a difference, but that's Monday morning quarterbacking right now.
Do you think Mike Brown ever says to the team, look, guys, no offense, but some days I don't even want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you. You think that?
Yeah, he hasn't earned that trust in his relationship with the players like I do with you and Jay. I could say things to you guys and you won't take it personally. So we're on a different level than the squad is right now.
Yeah. Hey, do you have any insight on De'Aaron Fox's condition for tonight?
All signs point to him playing. Took part in shoot around.
Knee contusion, right?
Yeah, the knee. All signs point to him playing. I would be shocked if he didn't play tonight.
Drape's takes are coming up. We'll get to the phones as well. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Drapes is in Denver. Drive Guys rolling on Sactown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Get huge savings on our best selection of new Hondas during our Honda President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
A couple of weeks ago, right before the All-Star break here in Denver,
Valentine's
Mike
Day.
Malone,
Yeah.
he was incensed at his team. Like he was livid with his team. Remember, Joker got the technical as well, and that sort of inspired the Kings. I believe Michael Malone, he's in his team's butt right now.
Mhm.
Like I expect this Denver team to come out on fire, breathing fire. And you're right, we've beaten them 3 times. To go 0-4, it's like the Pelicans kicking our butt.
Yeah.
Like, do we have the Nuggets number? And we'll find out tonight. Big game tonight.
Speaking of numbers, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's see what Dwayne has to say on Sactown Sports. What's up, D? Thanks for hanging.
Oh, no problem, fellas. I love the show. I got to tell you, it's always going to be the same. Once you get to the playoffs, you're going to meet teams where they have the ability to ratchet up the defense. They have the ability to make stops. They have the ability to make it hard on the other team's best player. That's what the Kings don't have. You know, they don't have a Draymond Green. They don't have a
The
guy
NFL's leading rusher plays.
who's
Go
going
ahead,
to do all
Dwayne.
that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Yeah, so, I mean, you should have made a move to toughen up. You should have made some trades because you can't be running stuff back with your team that you know isn't going to make it, man. So that's all I got to say. I thought the Kings should have traded for somebody tough who's going to handle that stuff and also, you know, talk to them guys on defense and tell them, look, you're not playing defense, so what's up? But anyway, guys, let me know what you think.
Thank you, Dwayne.
No,
yeah.
that's an excellent call, Whitey. Go ahead, man.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say a lot of people feel that way. Mike Brown all year long has been preaching that very thing, that you get to the playoffs, you if you don't defend at a higher level, you think you can just outscore people, you'll be in for a rude awakening. So why didn't they, Drapes? Why didn't they get somebody?
That's a great question. And, you know, to Dwayne's point, like, you know, it doesn't always have to be your best player, but like, who's the emotional leader of this team? Who we still don't know. And I love our guys, and, you know, we're proud, you know, that they give effort on the court, but sometimes you need some jerks on your team. I remember I was talking to Jay Crowder about this, who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, and we were talking before the game. And even he said, man, y'all could use somebody like a Tony Allen back in the day, or a Marcus Smart. Like, and I think teams know when they face Sacramento, we don't have that guy. We don't have that emotional leader, that dog, that, you know, as much as we get on Draymond, and I'm not, you know, advocating for him with the Kings or anything, like, he does have value to the Golden State Warriors beyond just being a good passer. Like, he's their emotional leader, the heart and soul. You know, you go back to when Marcus Smart was in Boston, you had Tatum, you had Brown, you had Al Horford, you had veterans, but who was their emotional leader? Ask the players, and they said Marcus Smart. Who is our emotional leader? And I think that's one thing Monty has to address. You know, you can go out there and get the Pascal Siakams, the Jeremy Grants, but you also need some dogs as well. You know, I look at a team like Denver, let's say. When you look at what we're going to see tonight, I think Aaron Gordon is an emotional leader. I think KCP can be. I think Reggie Jackson can be an emotional, like, who's our, like, when we watch our guys play, we know they care, right? But how many of our guys do we look at and can see it on their face, can see it and feel it? Like Domas, we can feel it, right? You know, Malik, we can feel it. But too many of our guys are just even keeled. You know what I mean? We're straight lines, you know?
Yeah.
I need a little, you know, up and down. I don't want you to be Draymond crazy or anything like that. But you got to have a pulse when you're out there on the floor. And I think too many times teams come in and they feel like, you know what? The Kings won't put up much resistance.
We'll shove them around.
And I think that's what Mike Brown is trying to get this squad to do.
I think Malik, in a lot of ways, is a defensive leader, or excuse me, the emotional leader, I meant to say, but he's not a great defender. And I know we've talked about this guy before. He still is on the Spurs roster. A lot of people are waiting to see if he gets bought out. Marcus Morris, if you were available, if you were the Kings, would you make a play there?
I would. I'm a big Marcus Morris fan. You know, he's my guy from Philly, played in Boston. You know, I tell you what.
Is he the guy that you had an issue with?
Yeah, him and I had an issue. I guess let me tell the story real quick. We're in Boston, and Marcus, he sort of knew, like, I think this was his first year. I knew he was from Philly, so I know how Philly guys are. I'm like that too. But, you know, I used to do the pre and post game. And then one game I said he struggled, basically. He was like 3 of 14. And he took offense to that. So I get to the arena, and this guy I work with, Sherrod Blakely, great NBA writer, he says, Kyle, don't go in the locker room. Marcus Morris is going to have some words for you. I'm like, man, I ain't worried about Marcus Morris. So he comes out onto the court, and I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, shoot. Yeah. There goes Marcus Morris. Uh-oh. He comes up to me, and we talk. He's like, yo, man, I heard what you said the other day. Why'd you say, you know, I'm struggling? I'm like, dude, you were 3 of 14. You scored 7 points. I said, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader when you play well. But I also got to call out what I see. And maybe struggling wasn't the right word. But he was off that night. And so, but after that, we've been cool. We had our piece. Good. We said our words. We were cool. But the thing about Marcus Morris that I like, Let me ask you this. When Jaime Jaquez is killing us, torching us,
yeah,
when the Heat are getting layup after layup, you know what Marcus Morris will do? He'll take a frustration foul.
touch somebody up.
Somebody going to he at least going to body you or grab you or make you feel him some way. So that, you know what? And so that's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about being dirty, Whitey. I'm talking about I need to feel that these guys, it means something to these
you don't
guys.
you don't want to hurt somebody, but you touch them up. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think, I think every NBA team needs that. I think, at times we're too much of a finesse team. We saw it against the Clippers. Like when De'Aaron Fox got angry, and got after it with James Harden and was talking trash. I like that De'Aaron Fox. I love that De'Aaron Fox. I would like to see more of it.
We got about 5 minutes here. Do you want to get to Drape Steaks? We can hold off on it, or if you want to roll with it now, I think we got a nice chunk left for you. It's up to you. It's your call.
No, we can fly through it. It's not a whole lot, because we're a couple days removed from the game. But yes, let's get into it.
From Denver.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
All right, Sacramento Kings fans. I'm starting to wonder about this Keegan Murray situation. Every time the dude plays well, it seems like we can't get the W. Remember, he scored 33 against Miami when we were in Miami. Remember that happened? He played fantastic, 28 this time, and we wasted it with the loss. I honestly would like to see Keegan Murray get more shots, especially when he's going. He only had 14 shots in that game, Whitey. We need to learn to ride the hot hand a little better. And I know some of them came in the fourth quarter to start, but he started off the game pretty on fire, pretty hot, 15 points in the first half. I think we need to feature him a little bit more, especially when he has it going on and he has that look that we saw the other night.
Yeah, guy who's 10 for 14, 6 for 7 from the three-point line. Shouldn't be struggling to get shots. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, he had 28 points. De'Aaron took 24 shots. I also would like Mike Brown to trust his bench a little bit more, because Davion Mitchell only played 9 minutes and change. Before that, Davion had been playing 17 minutes or so. When you need a defensive game changer, somebody to compete and get after defensively, I would have liked to see Davion a little more in that game. I don't know why Mike took him out. He was actually playing pretty decent. It wasn't foul trouble or anything like that. I would have liked Davion to got a look on a Jaime Jaquez or somebody like that.
Yeah, I know the Heat did take advantage of some of their size mismatches. I don't recall specifically them doing that with Davion, but that's the only thing I can think of as to a reason why. I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no way that Kevin Love and Haywood Highsmith should be outscoring the Kings bench. Kevin Love with 19 points, sitting in a hot tub time machine. That just can't happen. And Kevin Love's a future Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Trust me on that. But, man, he should not be outplaying our bench all by himself. And that's what he did. We had 17 bench points. He had 19. Haywood Highsmith had 15 himself. So we need better production from our bench, I think, Wade.
Yeah, Kevin Love had 19 points in 15 minutes.
Unbelievable, right? It's and so this is the final point I'm going to make about this is that we need to consider and try to achieve what Miami has achieved. And I'm not just talking about making it to the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals like they've been doing. I'm talking about a culture that no matter who's in the game, Caleb Martin was out there talking smack. How's Caleb Martin coming into our building talking? Because he has that bravado, that confidence. That's the Miami Heat way. They got a chip on our shoulder. We have to figure out a way to get a chip on our shoulder so that when we walk into Miami, when we walk into Denver tonight, we feel like we the baddest boys out here on the court tonight. That's all I got to say.
All right. Gotcha. There's one big question I have about the whole Kings culture issue. I know we've been talking about it a lot lately. Maybe you have the answer. We'll find out when we come right back. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment, 916-520-9990.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no accounts to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
One ticket, 2 shows, the Sacramento Boat Show and Off-Road Exposition, plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, travel trailers, pontoon boats, fifth wheel, personal watercraft and ATVs, toy haulers, fishing boats, motorhomes, and more. One massive event, the Sacramento Boat Show and Off-Road Exposition, plus the Big RV Show. March 7th through 10th. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Sactown Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Sactown Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. SactownHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers. We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect. We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect. So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
We got a lot of questions we got to answer today, including how much money did Kyle Draper give to his buddy Kendrick Perkins to start talking about Domas's MVP candidacy. Well played, Kyle Draper. We'll get to that. Drapes is in Denver, of course. Kyle, we were just talking about the Kings and culture. You know, you were mentioning you'd like to see the Kings get to a point where they have some kind of culture, defining culture, like what the Heat have. To me, one of the big questions there is whose vision will that be? For example, you go back to, we talked about this yesterday, the day before, the 49ers, the Bill Walsh 49ers, one of the first sports teams to talk about culture, and it was Bill Walsh who handed that down. This is the way we do things. We know that with the Heat, Pat Riley pretty much laid down the law. This is the way we do things. People came up within that culture, and they were immersed in it. Whose vision would establish the culture for the Sacramento Kings right now, in your view? Looks like Drapes is Drapes not able to hear me? Hello, Kyle Draper. Yeah. All right, we'll get to Drapes as soon as we can. Sounds as if we've lost our audio connection with Kyle Draper. So we'll get him going as soon as we can. But that's, to me, the big question with the Kings and culture. I know that I've been assuming it'd be something that Mike Brown would hand down. He'd bring the culture in, a winning culture. But it's hard for a coach to do that if he doesn't have the total backing of GM and ownership. And I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm just not sure the organization is to that point yet. So that, to me, is the big issue as far as the Kings and culture right now. Who's establishing what that culture is? The other thing is, as we all know, if you're talking about comparing a Kings culture to the Miami Heat culture, it's just not fair to do so, because the Heat culture was established in 1990 something. They started working on it, and they've won multiple championships. And the Kings are, if you say Mike Brown's establishing a culture here, is not even 2 years into it yet. So there's promising signs. But we're a long ways from having any sort of Kings culture. I thought it was interesting. A couple of days ago, Kyle and I were talking about what is a Kings type player. Right now, we don't even know that. And it's too early to know that. That's not a criticism, but those are the types of things when you establish a culture, you know what kind of player fits our culture. And it helps you to figure out who to draft, helps you to figure out who to pursue in free agency. And the Kings right now are still more in line with plug-in holes. So that's something that hopefully they can continue to develop, and nothing develops a winning culture like winning. How about that? I'm a genius, right? Yeah. The more the Kings can continue to win, the more they're going to start to establish this is the way that we do things. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll reconnect with Drapes as soon as we can. He, of course, is in Denver getting ready for Kings and the Nuggets tonight. And the Nuggets will the Kings will have the Nuggets full attention, I should say. Kings haven't beaten the Nuggets 3 times already this year, and the Nuggets have been to varying degrees shorthanded in each of those games. And Michael Malone, as Drapes pointed out in one of our earlier segments today, when those two teams played on Valentine's Day, right before the break, Michael Malone was very determined to see his team win that game. He was going on the All-Star break, he's going to go watch his daughter play volleyball, and he mentioned, I will not be nice to be around if they don't win. The Kings took care of their business, so we'll see. Jay, how big of a factor is that tonight? The fact that Denver just wants to show that they can beat these guys.
I think it's huge. I mean, you've already lost to the Kings 3 times, and 2 times. You want to go 0-3. You want to set a tone here. You want to let the Kings know that, listen, we may see you in the playoffs, and if that's the case, we need to let you know that we can beat you. And I think it's almost vice versa with the Kings versus the Pelicans.
Yeah,
it's big time. Just morale, just spirit, just in your mind.
Yeah, that's you just want to prove. You want to prove the other team, but on some level, you have to prove it to yourself too, don't you? Now, the Nuggets are world freaking champions, so I don't imagine, they're thinking, gee, I don't know if we can beat these guys, but they definitely want to make sure they take care of that business. One of the things that the Kings have done fairly consistently this season in beating Denver is the bench has played well. You had 2 games in which the Kings bench really outscored the Denver bench. The last game was kind of a wash, so that's something to keep an eye on tonight, especially because Denver, they're going to be as close to fully healthy as they've been in any of these 3 games, so their bench should be deeper. But Drapes, this is a bigger game, I think, for Denver than we would have thought it would have been, since they haven't beaten the Kings yet. No, we're still trying to get back in touch with Kyle Draper standing by in Denver. Something very interesting said today. Drape's buddy Kendrick Perkins on NBA. Yeah. All right. Do we have Kyle Draper? Can you hear me, sir?
I got you now, man. We had to switch microphones.
Good. All right.
Got me? Okay.
Yes. Here was my question, Drapes, about Kings culture. We were just talking about that. Long story short, the Heat have their culture, which was established by Pat Riley. The Kings, it looks like Mike Brown's trying to establish a culture, but, is that going to be like Mike Brown's vision, Monty's vision, Vivek's vision? Who is going to determine what the Kings culture really consists of?
That's a great question, Whitey, because when you look at what transpired for the Miami Heat, Pat Riley, wherever he's at, he commands respect. You know what I mean? There's an aura around him. And I'm talking even before Miami. When he was with the New York Knicks, it was his vision, his culture. And so does Mike Brown carry that kind of cachet, that kind of weight, and is Monty McNair on the same page as him? Does Monty carry that? One thing I know, and I know the Oklahoma City Thunder organization very well, interviewed for a job there years ago, met with Sam Presti, met with Clay Bennett, the owner. And one thing I took away from meeting with Oklahoma City is Sam's in charge. It's his ship to run.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in Miami. Eric Spoelstra is great, but we know it's Pat Riley who's the face of that franchise. Who's the face of our franchise? Who's that guy that everybody follows in lockstep? Is it Mike Brown? Is it Monty McNair? And so I think, when we talk about culture and you ask me who sets that culture, that's a great question. When you look at Golden State, who sets their culture? Was it Bob Myers? Is it Joe Lacob? Is it Steph Curry? I could argue it's Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue, the Warriors didn't become the Warriors until Steph Curry became Steph Curry. And then all of a sudden, everything else falls in line. And so we need to find who's that person in our organization that carries that weight, whose voice weighs and rings louder than anybody else's.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it's Mike Brown and Monty McNair. Both of them carry, major weight. I think ultimately it might be on Monty McNair. I don't know. That's a great question, though. I think you got to have that guy. Even when you look at other franchises I've been around, Boston, who carries the weight in that organization? When Danny Ainge was there, it was Danny Ainge. He was the guy. Everybody followed with Danny Ainge. Is it Brad Stevens now? Is it ownership? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not around anymore. But when Danny Ainge was there, he was the guy.
Yeah.
And so that's a great question, man.
Yeah, it comes down to, if you want to find out what is the Heat way, or what is the Kings way, or what is the Celtics way, who do you ask? There's one person, usually the one person who can really answer that. With the Kings, like you, and I think like a lot of us, I've been assuming, it's Mike Brown. He's bringing that culture in. And he's made progress in that regard. But unless and until ownership and the front office either are with him and say, yes, this is what we're doing, or they allow him, say, yes, we want you to establish that culture, there's only so much he can do. We're still in the early stages here. So, winning takes care of a lot of that. But at some point, we may get to that point where, well, what are we doing here? What is a Kings player? And how do we make sure we're all on the same page? Pardon me. Ryan Williams-Art on the chat says, culture is organic. If you try to force it, guys will see through and not buy in completely. You have to have the buy-in from the players, or you got nothing. Right. Yeah, that's true. You got nothing.
Well, here's the thing, though. When you look at successful organizations, let's take the Niners, for example. Who sets the culture for the Niners? Who would you say, Whitey?
Right now, it's Kyle Shanahan.
Exactly. It's Kyle Shanahan. But
Yeah.
you know what? Kyle Shanahan has the backing of John Lynch.
Yes. Yes.
And so to Ryan's point, it's organic. Guys will see through it and not buy in it completely. The GM and the coach have to be in lockstep to build culture. And, by all accounts, it seems like Monty and Mike are, in terms of how they want to run things. Now, they might differ on personnel, offense, defense, what things they need. But I would say this. I feel like when Mike Brown got hired, and right from the very start, his introductory press conference, he talked about winning championships. I think he sort of changed the culture of this franchise. And so now we'll have to see, will guys buy in? Will we reflect the kind of coach that he is on the floor? Like, I think we're still in the infancy of the Mike Brown. I mean, we're a season, 1.5 seasons. Like, it's still
absolutely
like was Eric Spoelstra his first year and a half? You know, remember LeBron challenged him, and so, but he had the backing of Pat Riley, and so I think Mike Brown and Monte McNair for this to be successful, they have to be in lockstep. Monty has to have his coach back. Mike has to be able to trust Monty. And that's something that develops over time, I think.
Meanwhile, the Kings are in the national news today because one of Drape's friends says that a King should be an MVP candidate. We'll come right back to that when the Drive Guys return on Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
It's a toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
What's up? As always, we're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
It's the biggest savings we've had in years on new heavy-duty Ram trucks. Right now, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4s. And yes, I said 2024s. Plus, we have Northern California's largest selection of Ram trucks with over 500 available. So you're sure to find your new Ram truck waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
$17,000 off MSRP on the brand new 2024s is a big deal. How'd you pull that off?
Hoblet is California's #1 Ram truck dealer and #3 in the nation, which means we have the best selection of the trucks you need at the best prices. No one has a better selection of heavy-duty Ram trucks west of the Mississippi. Plus, when you shop at Hoblet, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Hoblet Dodge, the small-town dealer with big city savings and selection. Start your search at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings after 11,379 factory rebates and 5621 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction rebate. Must have purchased eligible case equipment to qualify and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association. Private net savings. Sample VIN 221743.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
It's Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you want a deal that's a slam dunk, go see the winning team at Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is your truck headquarters with all your American-made favorites, like America's best-selling F-Series, F-150s, and Super Duties, or spacious new Explorers and Expeditions, plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports, all in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford, right here in Sacramento. You can buy any new Ford with zero down on approved credit, save big with low interest finance rates, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Check out the huge selection of inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership to see their most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. They'll help you out. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 35 years and counting.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Thanks for being with us, Kings in Denver. Tonight, Kyle Draper is in Denver. And coming up top of the hour, we'll talk to the TV voice of the Nuggets, Chris Marlowe, who actually won a gold medal in volleyball. How about that, Drape?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 84 Summer Olympics. So,
What? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a legit volleyball star. But Chris Marlowe going to join us top of the hour. Now, as far as what's up with the Kings today, how much did you pay Kendrick Perkins to say what he said today, Drapes?
Not at all. I'm sitting there in the hotel room watching it, and I'm like, my guy, sticking up for our boy Domantas Sabonis, and he wasn't paid to. He didn't. I didn't promise him anything. He did it on his own, and he backed it up on social media with a tweet here recently. And so, and I just texted him. Oh, you know what? He just texted me right now. As a matter of fact, Jay, call Kendrick Perkins right now. Jay, the producer.
I got you. I'm on you.
Call Kendrick Perkins right now. I'm going to text him and tell him Jay calling him right now.
Yeah, so long story short, and we have the audio here, but Jay can't, he's texting Kendrick. For those who didn't hear, Kendrick Perkins says that Domas is, here it is. Here's Kendrick Perkins, what he had to say about Domas today.
We could make a compelling argument for all of these guys when it comes down to Jokic, when it comes down to SGA. It could come down to Donovan Mitchell, Luka. Like, all these guys are going to put up historical numbers in today's game.
Yeah.
Hell, if we want to make a case, why are we not saying anything about Sabonis? Sabonis right now, hold on. If we're going based on numbers, Sabonis is leading the NBA in triple doubles. He's also leading the league in double doubles. The man is averaging 20, 13, and 8.
Briefly,
that is not just,
better case for Luka Doncic than for Sabonis. I mean, leading the league without Embiid in scoring, and then also giving you almost 9 and 10. That's a triple-double, and that's the reason why Jokic is the favorite.
I thought the triple-doubles meant something. Look, we could make a compelling...
So that's Kendrick Perkins today, meeting with some objection on the ESPN panel, Drapes.
Yeah, and this is the thing, man. And I applaud Perk for doing this, for Sacramento, the Kings, Domantas Sabonis. My problem, though, and I don't know, and the listener, you can't, if you got to go out there and see the video.
Yes.
Chiney Ogwumike, her reaction to when Perk mentioned Domantas Sabonis, it was like, we're talking MVP, like he didn't even belong in the conversation.
Right.
Where, if I'm correct on the NBA.com MVP tracker, Domantas Sabonis is top 7.
Yeah,
let's
bring him on.
Our guy.
Yeah.
Let's bring him a guy. Kendrick Perk is joining us. Perk, I know you're super busy, man, doing all your work for ESPN and everything, but you touched the nerve, big fella. First of all, thank you so much for giving a shout out to our boy Domantas Sabonis. Reiterate what you said earlier for people at home.
First of all, good to hear from you, Drake. Second of all, fix your face. Because I know you probably thought your boy wouldn't go come on and come through. You know I'm coming to holler at my boy. That's first thing. That's the second thing. Look, what I'm saying is, okay, I have Jason Tatum as my front runner, okay, for us winning the MVP. It shouldn't be held against him because of the personnel that's surrounding him. If we're going to throw out these numbers that all these other players are doing, SGA, he scored 43. He scored 30 points 43 times. You see what Jokic is doing down there in Denver with triple doubles. Okay, that's cool. I'm not knocking any one of those guys. But if that's what we're going to base it on, then how about talking about Sabonis?
Mm-hmm.
Sabonis is leading the league in triple doubles. He's leading the league in double doubles. He's averaging 20, 13, and 8. So, and his team is winning. Like, they're 7 games or 6 games above 500? So in a tough Western Conference. So what is the conversation? And so my thing is, and this is why I said earlier today, is that we got to set some type of standard, right? A criteria. Our criteria is best player with good numbers on the best team with the winning record. Last year I voted for Giannis. I'm standing on business, and looks like it's gonna be Jason Tatum for me. But that's okay. My thing is, why is Sabonis not mentioned? Or it's a problem when you do mention his name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is, Perk. Perk, you know what it is. If he would have had a Knicks jersey on or a Lakers jersey on, there wouldn't be no conversation. You know that.
But why, though?
The disrespect for Sacramento. Because think about it, Perk. The dude wasn't even an all-star, big fella. He's putting up, legendary numbers we haven't seen since guys like Wilt and Oscar and Jokic. He's about to be top 10 all time in triple doubles, but yet he can't even be an all-star, Perk. Come on, man.
But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this, and this is where we got to compare. And I'm not trying to bring Jokic into the conversation. We got to bring Jokic into the conversation. Okay, Jokic first MVP. What did Jokic average?
27.
Yeah, he was up there, 27, 12, and 7.
Okay, but I mean, what's the difference with Sabonis? Okay, less points, I get it. He got a lot more weapons. He has the Aaron Fox. Jokic did it without Jamal Murray. But my point is saying is, if we're going to base it on numbers and the combination of wins, we got to put Sabonis in that conversation.
Yeah, Kendrick, thanks for coming on with us. Kevin Gleason here. I wanted to ask you, a lot of people can disagree with that or agree. Were you surprised, though, that when you mentioned it, that you had people on the panel who were laughing at the notion of Sabonis being considered for MVP?
It wasn't. It ain't the first time. It ain't the first time, but I'm here to tell the people in the audience what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Right? So they needed to hear this about Sabonis. Whether, I feel like their reaction to it was right or wrong, that's on them, and they got to deal with the Sacramento Kings fans, not me. You know what I'm saying? My point is that I'm here to educate the audience and shine light on this young man who's not getting the proper respect or just due that we supposed to be giving him. He got disrespected in the All-Star game, and now we talk about these numbers with MVPs, and here we are. And, it's not the first time, right? I just said a lot of things on the shows or whatever, and facial expressions look at me crazy. Then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, the apologies start coming in.
Hey, Perk, I want to ask you this, though, because we just had a conversation about culture and trying to develop it. We talked about Heat culture, those goons down there in Dade County. I know about the Celtics culture, too, that you guys had. Who's in charge of building the culture? Is it on a player? Is it a coach? Is it a front office?
Where does it start?
Does it have to be one guy that starts it?
I think with the culture, you got to be a combination of both. Okay? It got to be the front office having the back of the head coach, so that the coach could go in and have the franchise guys, or the franchise guys or their superstars or stars, be able to have the respect from them to hold them accountable, because they know that, let me say this. The most important thing in the world when you talk about culture is accountability. And in today's game, we know how hard it is for coaches to hold players accountable, because if your star player, your superstar player don't like you, Giannis, you could actually be out with a 30-13 record halfway through the season. So if you got that support from the front office, that you could go in there and stand on business, and you see the likes of an Eric Spoelstra, who could demand a locker room, because Pat Riley not about to he's not about to talk to your agent. He's not about to talk to you when it comes down to Eric Spoelstra. And so that culture is real. All of a sudden, players are like, damn, I got to buy into it. That's how a culture is established.
Big Perk, obviously, when you look at Sabonis's numbers, they jump off the page. that's what most of us see. But you, having played the game to the highest level, when you watch Domas, what impresses you the most about the way he's putting up those numbers?
But you know what? I always knew. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So I just retired, and I went down to Oklahoma City, and I was watching Sabonis at shoot around when he was a rookie. And Troy Weaver came up to me and said, "This one right here, he gonna be special." And I said, "What you mean special?" He said, no, he's gonna be mentioned as one of the best bigs in the game." So I'm like, "We all right? I know, y'all drafted him or whatever. That's the high praise. But here we are. Like seriously, here we are, and he's a top 5 big in the game. You could go Giannis, you could go Jokic, you can go Embiid, you can go Anthony Davis and Sabonis. And Sabonis has been actually kicking Anthony Davis' ass for a minute now. If you go and pull up the numbers and the records, but to me, it's this physicality. I already knew he could pass the ball, but the relentlessness of him on the glass is what gets me. He's not afraid. He's gonna put that shoulder into your chest. He's trying to tomato chest you. He's trying to go up strong and snatch the screws out the rim. Like that type of tenacity, like that force, and he cares. Like he actually gives it that.
Perk up. My last question, man. I know I'm sure you're doing more ESPN stuff tonight. I know they got you on TV tonight, coming up with NBA Countdown. But I want to ask you about Kevin Garnett in Boston, because I maintain that when I look at my Sacramento Kings, I can't feel them on the floor. Like I can feel Sabonis how much he cares. You played with Kevin Garnett. We talk about culture. He helped with that culture too in Boston. Let's call it what it is. But how is he able to manage? Like, do teams need a player leader like that? Somebody that you can feel that holds the locker room accountable. That when he walks in, y'all straightening up because he's there.
You see the Milwaukee Bucks, huh? The Milwaukee Bucks were struggling, right? I got in. It was gonna take him time, right? Then all of a sudden, who did they trade for? Oh, Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly. And the first day he got there, the first game, we see him with a clipboard holding Brook Lopez accountable. Right? And I tell this to so many people, and I say this all the time. Your emotional leader doesn't have to be your best player. As long as you have that one guy that's on your team that's going to lead, that's going to hold guys accountable, that's going to punch in the clock, and they respect him, and that guy's an extension of the head coach, all of a sudden you got something. I've never named me one NBA champion, a team that won a championship without having an emotional leader. You can. You can. That voice in the locker room is invaluable. And I tell people this all the time. Austin Rivers, we had a little debate about it because he was like, "Man, KG was y'all leader." I was like, "No, he wasn't." He led by example on the floor with his tenacity and his game. James Posey was our emotional leader.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting. Yeah. Big Perk, we appreciate your time very, very much. And, fans in Sacramento, we often feel slighted, disrespected. So I know you're just doing your job, but there's a lot of fans in Sacramento, a lot of Domas fans that really appreciate what you had to say today. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate them, and I just appreciate great basketball. You know what else I'm going to appreciate? When I get to Sacramento and I get to get the free food. That's all I need for the appreciation. Just take me to the restaurant.
You ain't changed a bit, Perk. Hey, man. Hey, thanks for answering my text, big fella. That means a lot to me.
You already know, Drake.
All right, Big Perk. Thanks, Perk.
Thank you. And thank you. Thanks, Drapes, for lining that up. When we come back, Chris Marlowe, voice of the Nuggets, on why the Kings have had the success they've had this year against his team. That's coming up with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, Trying to find a needle in a haystack? Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments. And after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-805-1723. 800-805-1723. That's 800-805-1723.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Big perk answering Kyle Draper's text. Let's be honest, Drapes hasn't had a great completion percentage lately, but coming through, Kendrick Perkins today on ESPN saying Domas is an MVP candidate, then coming on our airwaves. Thank you, Drapes, for lining him up and explaining why he feels that way. We got the Kings and the Nuggets tonight, and joining us now, our next guest is he's not quite with us yet, but yeah, we'll get to Chris Marlowe any second here. But what do you think, Drapes, of what Kendrick Perkins had to say? Your emotional leader doesn't have to be your best player. I know we've been talking about this today. So where are we with who the Kings' emotional leader is right now?
Well, Whitey, before I answer that question, let me just say, I've been doing radio here in Sac for a few months now. And, I just want to say how proud I am because we're the only station and the only show that, when guys are out there making news, making headlines, you know what? Forget all the talk. Let's get them on the phone. Mm-hmm. Let's call them up ourselves. And I was glad we were able to do that.
Well
and
done.
So,
thank you.
You can hear all these other, sports personalities out there. You know what? we get the people that are making the news. And so that's how, we want to try to operate going forward. And so I was glad we were able to get Big Perk.
Yeah.
His message that your emotional leader doesn't have to be your best player. That's 100% true. I look at, you could argue, let's go down the street to San Francisco. Is Steph Curry your emotional leader?
No.
Exactly. It's Draymond.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have to be the guy with the best skill. He brought up Patrick Beverly, and that's a guy I mentioned too.
He brought up James Posey.
James Posey. Exactly.
Yeah.
James Posey back on that 08 championship team. Guys who just have a compete level and a way about them that, you know what? You're going to respect what this person has to say. You know who else is like this to an extent? I think, and I would have loved to have this guy here in Sacramento, Grant Williams. Look what Grant Williams did in Dallas. Luka wasn't having it. Kyrie, it was too much for them to handle. They couldn't handle it. Grant Williams goes to Charlotte. Guess what happens? They win 3 straight games. His first 3. And so Grant does a lot of talking. But one thing I know about Grant, he cares. You know what I mean? He's going to wear his emotions on the sleeve. He's not going to be flatlined. Like, he's going to be up. He's going to be down. He may burn you sometimes, yes, but he's going to help you as well. Like, that's what we need. I would have loved to get our hands on a Grant Williams.
Kings got the Nuggets tonight. Joining us now, longtime voice of the Nuggets. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever a volleyball tournament involving NBA announcers, and I got my money on this guy and whoever else is on his team, he won a gold medal for the U.S. volleyball 1984. Chris Marlowe with us. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing fine. Stuck in a traffic jam trying to get up for this big game in the NBA. There's lots of people going. So all's good.
Well, we appreciate your time, especially when, you're in the middle of something here. Why do you think the Kings have had the success they've had this year against the Nuggets, Chris?
I think it's twofold. I think, number one, Kings are good, and they present some problems that the Nuggets have to deal with regular season. The Nuggets are not a deep team, and when they're missing some pieces, it's always an issue. So in the first game, the Nuggets were missing Jamal Murray. Close game, good game, won by the Kings. Next game, the Nuggets were down a couple of starters, Porter and KCP, and it was a rout. And then the last game, I believe they're missing their starting backcourt again, and it was a close game. And De'Aaron Fox kind of took over at the end, and without Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in the lineup, we had no one to stop him. We got nobody who can guard that guy. So I think circumstance has been part of it. Matchups have been a little bit part of it. I think the fact that Domantas Sabonis plays well against Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, one of the few centers in the league who's able to go and has enough macho to go one-on-one with Jokic and take it to Jokic. I mean, he's had good numbers. He's not afraid to get physical. But we'll see tonight. Nuggets will be at full strength for the first time in this series, and I think it's really going to be a statement game for the Nuggets, simply because you don't want to go into the postseason against a team that you might play having them beaten you all 4 times.
Hey, Chris, it's Kyle Draper here, man. Looking forward to seeing you tonight. I'm at the arena right now, getting ready for tonight's game. When you look at, the regular season for you guys coming off a championship, are you noticing the same fight and hunger? How are they approaching the regular season, you think, this year compared to last year?
Well, having the championship helps. There's not quite so much second guessing about everything Michael Malone does. I mean, he's got the cachet now as a championship coach. The team is not quite as deep as it was a year ago. So it's been kind of a 4 or 5 month experiment on trying to bring the bench along. We've got a number of young guys that have played well in spots. They've shown flashes with Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and Julian Strother. But I don't think it's quite settled yet who's going to play in the postseason. And as you guys know, the postseason, it becomes more interesting. Your bench plays less, your starters play more, and I think the Nuggets will be better. And just getting back to what's happened this season, when the Nuggets have a starter or two go out with injuries, it really affects them because they don't have Bruce Brown, they don't have Jeff Green, Ish Smith, and those vets coming off the bench. They've got youngsters, and the record is about the same, but I think the regular season has been, it was a little bit better last year. However, I think the Nuggets have the potential, if they're healthy now, to finish with a flourish and still have an outside shot to catch that number one seed.
Chris Marlowe, nice enough to join us. He's the play-by-play voice of the Nuggets. Yesterday, Coach Malone said that the Nuggets, so far this year, they've failed to stop the Kings offense at any of the three levels. He said we haven't stopped them in transition or the painted area or the three-point line. Chris, which of those three areas would you think Denver's defense would be focused on the most tonight?
Wow, it's just a whole potpourri of misery when we play Sacramento. They make I watch the Miami game the other night. You guys when you play the Nuggets, I mean everybody's shooting 40%, and then I look and Malik Monk makes he's 0 for 4 from 3, and he's making 1 for 8. I go, oh, what's the story? He just kills the Nuggets. I think you certainly want to shut off the 3-point shooting. The Kings have specified 3-point shooters that are really good. I think one thing that makes it tough to guard the Kings, and it was interesting when we were playing the Warriors the other night, the defense is really good. We just double Curry when he comes off screens with Jokic and the guard, and they give the ball to Draymond Green at the free throw line, but he can't score from the free throw line.
Right.
All he's in there is in there to pass the ball. Yeah. So it's different when you play the Kings because Sabonis can actually score from there. He can score. He can drive. He's turned into an excellent passer. And you've got some good wings that flash to the basket. So I think, stopping one or two of those elements tonight would be key. I'm not sure. I think if the Nuggets can shut down the 3-point shooting, which they've been pretty good at most of the regular season, they'll have a good chance to win tonight.
Chris Marlowe, play-by-play announcer for the Denver Nuggets, joining us here on the Drive, guys. Sactown Sports 1140. Chris, when we talk about this Sacramento Kings team and the journey and the path that they're on, we look a lot at the Denver Nuggets and what you guys were able to accomplish and how, you slowly added some pieces, KCP, getting Aaron Gordon. What was it like during that process? Were fans patient? Did Michael Malone have a longer leash? Take me through that before you actually broke through and won the championship.
Well, when Michael Malone got to Denver, it was a mess. It was a 30-win team, and he immediately turned things around. But it wasn't like a crazy jump. I think we won 36 the second year he was here, and then the next year was 46. And that was the season where they had game 82 at Minnesota. If they win, they're in the playoffs. If they lose, they're out. And we lost a heartbreaker up in Minnesota, had the ball, had a chance to win late, and Jokic couldn't convert. And I think a lot of people thought at that point in time that they might bring in another coach to try to get him over the hump, even though they won 46 games. But the Cronkies, to their credit, they were very patient. And then the next season, things really took hold. Nikola Jokic became Superman, and the acquisitions they had made. But it was a slow build, kind of like the Kings are doing. Although last year the Kings were third in the league, so you never know how the build is going to take place. But I kind of like what the Nuggets have done to get to where they were and then to eventually win the championship. And I think the Kings have those kinds of pieces. They're good. They're deep, much deeper than the Denver Nuggets. And I think that's been another element why the Kings have been able to beat the Nuggets 3 times this year. I mean, they're outscoring them bench-wise 48-28. That's a big deal. So it's building. Do the Kings need another piece or two? Probably along the line if they could get another really good player. But, there's such a fine line between, the Kings and the Suns and the Mavericks and the Lakers and all these teams in the West, 10 deep. There's a very fine line between winning and losing. You guys saw that last year when you got in the playoffs, and then you fall in 7. It's that close from moving on. So I think the Kings are doing it the right way. I'm really impressed with what they've done, particularly in the couple of years under Mike Brown.
Yeah, Chris, if I could, to that point, and I know this is, at this point, who knows, but looking at the West, which has been so condensed the last 2 years, you guys appear to be pretty safely ensconced in that top 4. The Kings are in that 5 through 10 group. Who knows? What's your best guess of how this Western Conference ends up shaking out?
Well, I'm hoping, and Michael Malone has said the opposite. He said he wants to be healthy going into the playoffs. That's his number one concern. But last year when the Denver Nuggets ended up with the number 1 seed overall, I thought that was a huge advantage throughout the Western Conference. And then Miami upsets Boston and the Nuggets have it in the finals. That's just a big mental factor. When teams come to Sacramento and you're lighting the beam every night, you're lighting teams up. It's all good. The fans are going nutty. It's hard to win. Mm-hmm. Hard to win on the road, particularly in the playoffs. And the same in Denver. The Nuggets have the best home record in the Western Conference, second best in the league. So I think if the Nuggets can somehow remain healthy and eke out that top seed and get that number 1 seed, that will go a long way towards a repeat. As for the Kings, they're going to have to battle it out. Boy, they sure like to finish 5 or 6 at the worst because you don't want to get in a play-in situation. I mean, we just got so many good teams that are hovering, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody's good, and anybody can win. So we'll see how it plays out. It's going to be interesting.
Chris, as we get ready for tonight's game, what's the key? Like, what are things you're looking at tonight for your Nuggets to get over the hump tonight?
KCP slowing down De'Aaron Fox.
Ooh.
That has been, I think, the biggest pain in the ass, if you can say that on Sacramento radio, that De'Aaron Fox has been able to do whatever he wants. And Caldwell hasn't played in 2 of the games. He's by far our best defender. He's a guy, if you saw any of the Warriors game the other night, he was able to slow down Steph Curry and hold him to 6 of 16 and 1 of 10 from 3. He's a gnarly defender. When he's in there, everybody plays defense better. And I'm really looking forward to that matchup. Also looking forward to the Jokic Sabonis matchup. I think a lot of the time Jokic just figures, he can just, outsmart and outmaneuver and out-physical anybody he plays against. And a lot of the time, they're double teaming and triple teaming, but, I feel like a lot of times Sabonis is straight up. Maybe there's some digging going on, but I want to see that matchup. And I think for the Nuggets to win tonight, Jokic has to decisively win that matchup. I think it's been even in the first 3 games, maybe even a little favoring Domas. But I think tonight, in front of the home crowd, Jokic has got 3 sensational triple-doubles in a row. He's playing with enthusiasm and passion. He's shooting 68% in the last 3 games. And I think he'll be motivated tonight to show Domas and the Kings what the MVP really looks like.
Chris Marlowe, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Enjoy the call. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Hey, great to be on. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris. Thanks, man.
Yeah, he's right, Drapes, as you well know. 3 games so far between the Joker and the Kings. The first game, the Joker was like the Heath Ledger Joker. He was awesome. The second game, he was like the Jack Nicholson Joker. It was like he was okay. And then the last time they played on Valentine's Day, he was like the Cesar Romero Adam West version of the Joker. He was just not very good. So he's got a little something to show tonight against Sabonis.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge matchup. And what's interesting about this matchup, both guys come into this game with 3 straight triple doubles. Think about that at the center matchup. Like, these guys are playing their best basketball of the season right now. And so it's going to be a heavyweight battle. I mean, I think Jokic will probably have the advantage when it comes to the points. But if we could limit his assists, keep him around his average 8 or 9, not 13, 14. He's had 3 straight games of 14 or more assists. He may be able to get his 26, 28. But I wouldn't let him get the 12, 13, 14 assists tonight.
Yeah. By the way, does this concern you at all as we look at the standings in the West and where things are moving right now? Minnesota and Oklahoma City tied. Then you got Denver just 2 back, Clippers 3 back. And the Kings benefiting, of course, from the Mavericks losing. Here's the thing, as we discussed yesterday, Drapes, you get to this time of year, it's really useful to look at the losses. Because that loss column, you lose a game, you don't get it back. And right now, the Pelicans have 24 losses, they're 5th. The Suns have 24 losses. The Kings with 24 losses. Dallas now with 25. But then the Warriors have 27 and the Lakers have 28. I mean, there's still that chance that the Warriors and Lakers work their way back in to the upper reaches of this play-in thing.
Yeah, you got the Lakers for a game next week, too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be key. But if you're Sacramento, and I looked at it, they have the most games remaining out of anybody. I think they're tied for the most games remaining. So they can sort of control their own destiny. They got the Pelicans one more time, but you lost that season series.
Yep.
And so you need to finish ahead of them by 1. So basically, you're about 2 games behind the Pelicans right now. I'm talking. So the 5th seed is still a possibility for the Kings. It's going to be an uphill battle, no doubt. But I like where they're standing. You mentioned the Warriors and the Lakers at 27 losses and 28 losses, respectively. I'm not that worried about that because to me, that means they got a 3-game advantage.
I got you.
In that area. I'm looking at the Pelicans. I'm looking at the Suns and the Mavericks and saying, we still control our own destiny against those guys. Like, we still can finish ahead of those teams.
Mm-hmm. It's just, in the West, you lose 2 in a row and you sink. Like Dallas, they're now down to 8th because they've lost 2 games in a row. They've dropped from 5th or whatever they were. And down. So, 2-game losing streak can be very costly right now. That's how important all these games are down the stretch.
Yeah. And we got 2 against Dallas coming up.
Yeah.
I think, a split, okay. But if you could go 2-0, I think that would be massive. And you're right, man. And Mike Brown said it during today's shoot-around talking with the guys. Like, the time is now. Like, the playoffs are here now, especially in the Western Conference because you're battling for position. You're battling for seed. Every game is so important. And Mike Brown said it. He said, guys, let's not give away any more games. And so it's a message that's being, perpetuated throughout the organization and throughout that locker room. It's like, no, we got to be at our best right now.
Where do you sit in those? That's just amazing to me. That's really fascinating. I know that you're privy to this stuff, but to think of you in the film session, what's that like for you? Where do you sit? Do you ask questions?
No, I do not. And Mike doesn't turn to me. Drapes, you got anything? No, I'm like in the corner. I'm like a fly on the wall in there. They line the players up. They all sit in their chairs. They got a nice little big screen. They watch the film and everything. And me and Katie usually stand in the back, with some of the coaches and everything. Great. Keep our mouths shut. So we observe things, some of the keys for tonight's game. And, and I was able to watch the film from that Miami game with them. And it's like, man, we thought they played well, it wasn't a letdown and all this, but then you see some of the little things that happen throughout the game where you're like, man, if we would have did this, if we would have got that loose ball, if we would have boxed out on that play, like those things add up. And so I feel privileged to be able to go back and look at some of the film clips that they pull like that.
Mm-hmm. Since that loss to the Heat, we've been trying to figure out why are the Kings so inconsistent. Well, we have some numbers here that explain why they're so up and down. Also, the NBA has denied a protest today. That and more when we come back. Drive Guys Sack Sactown Sports.
The Kings visit the defending champion Denver Nuggets tonight on Sactown Sports.
And again, Fox pokes it away. Grabbed by Sabonis. Throws it ahead. Fox runs under it. Goes for the two-hand flush.
Catch the Kings and the Champs tonight at 6 on your home for Kings basketball, Sactown Sports.
Get huge savings on our best selection of new Hondas during our Honda President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mainly clear through the night tonight. Tomorrow we will see increasing clouds with occasional showers. Temperatures will stay in the mid to upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Fidium Fiber Internet has put together a heck of a lineup. It's 100% fiber internet. You get a dedicated connection and lightning-fast upload and download speeds up to 2 gigs. Plans start at just $25 a month, so everyone can join in the action.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke woods and irons and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Finance with GM. Visit new and exciting places across the U.S. On Amtrak, it isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. Without any busy airports or cramped car rides, with no middle seats, extra legroom, and first-class private rooms. New adventures are just an Amtrak away. Book now at Amtrak.com.
1 ticket, 2 shows, the Sacramento Boat Show and Off-Road Exposition, plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, travel trailers, pontoon boats, fifth wheel, personal
personal watercraft and ATV, toy haulers, fishing boats, motorhomes, and more. One massive event, the Sacramento Boat Show and Off-Road Exposition, plus the Big RV Show, March 7th through 10th. Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
What's up? Talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
Huge savings on our remaining 2023 Rams as we make room for the hundreds of 2024s arriving daily. This month, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And you won't find a better selection of new Ram trucks in Northern California with over 500 Rams available.
Well, that sounds like a good deal, but why drive all the way to Hoblet, Chad?
For 4 generations, we prided ourselves on being the small town dealer with big city selection and savings. When you buy from Hoblet, you're family, which is why so many of our customers come back and buy from us time after time.
Come to Hoblet and see what it's like to be treated like family at California's #1 Ram truck dealer. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 74.88 factory rebates and 75.12 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible new case equipment to qualify and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be carrying a member of eligible first responder association. 5 with this net savings. Symbol VIN 700008.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
We take you up to game night this afternoon, and what a show it's already been. Kyle Draper in Denver. You know, the big Kings news today, or some of the big Kings news, was the fact that Kendrick Perkins on ESPN said that Domas is an MVP candidate. And, I mean, his partners on the ESPN set, some of them mocked him. But then Kyle Draper sent out the Perkins signal, and Kendrick joined us. He was with us, and among other things, Kendrick explained to us that he had a feeling that Domas was going to be special from the first time he saw him when Domas was still with the OKC Thunder.
You know what? I always knew. I'm going to tell you a quick story. So I just retired, and I went down to Oklahoma City, and I was watching Sabonis at shoot-around when he was a rookie. And Troy Weaver came up to me and said, this one right here, he going to be special. And I said, what you mean special? He said, he's going to be mentioned as one of the best bigs in the game. So I'm like, all right, I know, y'all drafted him or whatever. That's the high praise. But here we are. Like, seriously, here we are.
So, yeah, that was Perk today on our show. So he goes on ESPN, comes on our show to talk about Domas. So, again, Kyle, thank you for lining him up. But it's interesting to talk to him because sometimes people on TV, sometimes you say things, you got to say things. But he obviously is saying something that he really believes here.
Yeah, exactly. And then he, went on Twitter and followed that up. And I mean, he has Jason Tatum as his MVP. And, there's no denying that. But, the fact that, first of all, Domas should be in the conversation. And second of all, you're watching ESPN and the way they scoffed at him.
Right.
It's like it further shows me that we have not gained the respect. Whitey, I'm in my 4th season with the Kings. And I feel like as a member of the organization, and I see what the fan base deals with, I came into this game thinking, you know what? We don't have to beg for nobody. We don't need approval from ESPN or anybody. We just go about our business. But now I see this is something we got to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
This is something we have to shed light on, because not only is it ESPN, it's the darn coaches in the Western Conference that left this dude off the All-Star. When ESPN does it, I'm like, they got an agenda. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just trying to get clicks. They're kissing up to LeBron and AD and the Lakers. But when your own coaches in the Western Conference do it, that's what frustrates me. And so from here on out, when I see an opportunity to call somebody out for their Kings disrespect, I'm going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say, oh, well, screw them. When Kevin O'Connor writes something that disses our boys, where John Hollinger disses our boys, like, I get it now, Kings fans. It's ridiculous, man. The fact that Domas isn't an all-star, but yet, as Big Perk said, he's a top 5 big man in the NBA. Like, name me 3 other centers better than Domantas Sabonis in the Western Conference.
Can't do it.
You can't do it. Like, and so the fact that he didn't make it all-star, it's we didn't get a chance to ask Perk this, but I wanted to ask him, does it have to be done in the postseason now? Have we reached a point where the only way to earn your respect out there is to do it in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's true. I think of not only Domas, but the team too.
Yeah.
And even then it's going to take a while, but we saw that before here with the Kings. You win, you got to at least win a series and then maybe more. And then even that, because these biases against small market Sacramento, they're pretty deeply ingrained. So it's going to take a while for people to realize what's happening, what's really happening, what reality is, as opposed to their perceptions of what's going on here basketball wise in Sacramento. But we're moving in the right direction on that front.
Yeah, I think so. I think, with the national TV games, with the wins, like, this is a big game tonight. You sweep the Nuggets, this becomes a big game. Like, this becomes a big win. It won't lead ESPN tonight. I guarantee you that, because the Lakers and Clippers are playing tonight. That's going to be the lead on SportsCenter tonight. But if you beat the Nuggets tonight, and I hope the narrative tomorrow isn't what's wrong with the Nuggets. I hope that's not, with the talk shows. But if you sweep the Nuggets, I think that's a statement that people have to pay attention to around the league.
As far as the disrespect you're talking about, thank you to Chris the Mom here on the text line. Chris the Mom says, I was just looking at clutch points and read some saying after the Heat's game that Sabonis is trying for a triple-double, not to win. He's not taking open shots. He's looking for someone to pass to, etc. Serious hate on the Kings and Sabonis. That's Chris the Mom with another example of Kings and Sabonis disrespect, Kyle Draper. That's a bad one. That's just dumb. That's just wrong. Thank you, Chris.
But I don't disrespect.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. But that's just bad. That's wrong. Wrong.
Totally wrong, right? I mean, it's more hate out there. And I hope our guys use this as fuel, fuel for their fire. Like, come on, especially a big game tonight, And I do feel like, he might not admit it, I do feel like Domas feels slighted about the All-Star. And he's sort of, elevated his game even since then. And so here's another chance for him to make a statement. He's, I don't want to say had his way with Jokic, but he's probably done as good of a job as anybody against the Joker this season, held his own against the Joker this season. And now is another opportunity to do it tonight.
We've been talking about officiating a lot this year, a lot more than we'd like to be. And today the NBA, they denied an appeal from the Knicks. Remember, this is not the Knicks Pistons thing from Monday. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But the Knicks lost a game, I think it was to the Rockets, where Jalen Brunson was called for a foul, where even after the game, the officials said, yeah, he didn't really foul him. We screwed up there. So the Knicks, they appealed, and the league today denied the appeal and said, what they said was, well, for an appeal to be successful, you have to show that the rules were incorrectly applied. Incorrectly applied. In this case, they're saying it was just a bad call. So sorry, that's you're out of luck, which is too bad, but here we are.
It's too bad. I get it. It's too bad, but I wish there was something that could be done.
Yeah.
That could fix that. And I get it. Because as you know, Whitey, like in close games, there are going to be bad calls. There's going to be calls that the officials get wrong. Like, there needs to be some sort of automatic review trigger, an eye in the sky, a fourth official courtside or something that's looking at these controversial plays.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have to be on the coaches to challenge something like that. In that case, that wasn't even a challengeable play because it was in the final couple minutes. And so I get it. Officials are going to make mistakes. They're going to miss calls, but man, if you're the Knicks, you got screwed on that one.
Yeah, except then, well, you're right, but they got one back on Monday when there's a wild scramble at the end of the Pistons game, and I think it was Thompson gets a steal, starts going up court with seconds to go, and Dante DiVincenzo, that's a tackle that is a penalty in the NFL, and it was not a foul. Right? He went low. He's going for the ball. Takes him out at the knees. That'd be 15 yards in the NFL. In the NBA, it's a play on. And the Knicks end up winning that game. Incredible. Monty Williams is still steaming about that one.
Yeah, hopefully Monty doesn't get fined for that one, because he was 100% right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tackle. The official was right there. They swallowed the whistles. Did you hear also, though, that starting next year, this offseason, they're going to take a look at trying to level the playing field between offense and defense. Like right now, the rules are geared way too much towards offensive players. And so the league is going to take a look at that. I will tell you, though, and this is something I learned earlier today, that since the All-Star break, fewer fouls are being called, Whitey, to the tune of 3 less per game.
I'm not surprised.
League-wide. And this is for every team. And so I don't know if a mandate has been sent out or what, but I do feel like the league is trying to somewhat level it and not give guys so many fouls and free throws and everything like that.
I think we could tell that. I didn't know the numbers, but they don't surprise me, and we've talked about that. It looks like the league has told the officials, and they're not going to do any of this publicly, like, we need more defense in the game, so you're going to have to let more go. And so what we're ending up with is guys with different interpretations, as you said a couple days ago, of what a foul is. So as fans, as players are going, the guy just hammered me. He says it's a foul and you don't. Yeah, but I'm closer. So you end up with just confusion. It's making a bad situation worse, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's too much gray area.
Yeah.
That
and confusion and
needs
inconsistency.
To be absolute. Like, all right, everybody knows what is a foul and what isn't a foul. It should not be a foul to one official who might be different to another. I mean, you got 3 officials that some might call it tighter than others. I mean, like that to me, that ruins the game and is not fair in this game.
If the officials going forward continue to call fewer fouls, do you think that works in the Kings' favor, or does it work against them, or is it a toss-up?
That's a great question because, I do know the message has been sent that, all right, if the officials are going to call fewer fouls, that gives us license to be more aggressive.
Yes.
No excuses. So you would hope it would favor the Kings. But then I look at it conversely against teams that are physical with us. We want the foul calls, Yeah. I want De'Aaron Fox to the line 10 times, 8 times. He didn't shoot a free throw the other night against Miami, which is crazy to think. And so, it's funny. I'm listening to Sirius XM NBA radio, and our boy Antonio Daniels, who's been on our show, friend of the show, said it will probably not favor the smaller guards, the Foxes, the Shea Gilgeous, the Trey Youngs, because those guys, if you're going to tell them, no, they got to play through it. I mean, the slightest bit of contact can throw them off their game. And so I'm worried about, now will De'Aaron not get the calls that he deserves?
Speaking of inconsistency, some numbers that I think explain why the Kings have been so inconsistent when we return. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month. With approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
Put some sizzle in your spring. Whitey here reminding you that spring grilling season is coming fast. And now you can get into the 10-year bumper-to-bumper warranty Freestyle Napoleon Grill starting at $499. The Napoleon Freestyle has uncompromising quality, versatile grilling for every occasion, form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Have I mentioned that my Napoleon Grill turned me into a grilling pro? And I'm telling you, it looks as good as it cooks. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a deal near you.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the three numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind. So you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance absolutely free at netsuite.com/company. That's netsuite.com/company to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/company.
Welcome to a brand new year filled with limitless possibilities at Kia of Vacaville. Prepare yourself for an extraordinary driving adventure as we present our impressive 2024 vehicle lineup. Step into the future with state-of-the-art technology, groundbreaking features, and the sleek design that has become synonymous with Kia. Immerse yourself in the dynamic performance of the all-new Kia Sportage, where captivating design meets exhilarating power. Experience the fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel that extends your journey with every mile. Indulge in the sophistication of the Kia Telluride, seamlessly blending luxury and versatility. Don't overlook our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, ideal for those who prioritize efficiency without sacrificing style. If you're in search of the EV9, Kia of Vacaville has it in stock or available for delivery. Visit Kia of Vacaville today and cruise into 2024 with confidence and style. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets the road. Elevate your drive, elevate your year. Model availability and features may vary. Please see the dealership for details.
This segment is brought to you by Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Kings visit the Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Here's the kind of operation we're running here. Here's kind of a glimpse into our culture here with the Drive Guys. Kendrick Perkins was on ESPN today, and believe it or not, he was singing the praises of Domantas Sabonis. and he was ridiculed by some of the members of his own panel. Then he went on social media to double down, and then Kyle sends up the perk signal, and Kendrick Perkins, making national news today with his views on the Kings, comes on our show. That's just the way we roll around here, right, Tripes?
That's how we do it, Whitey.
Yeah,
we got the newsmakers, baby.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
And so Big Perk pointed out where he thinks Domas ranks among the NBA's elite larges.
He's a top 5 big in the game. You could go Giannis, you could go Jokic, you can go Embiid, you can go Anthony Davis and Sabonis. And Sabonis has been actually kicking Anthony Davis' ass for a minute now. If you go and pull up the numbers and the records, but to me, it's this physicality. I already knew he could pass the ball, but the relentlessness of him on the glass is what gets me. He's not afraid. Like, he's gonna put that shoulder into your chest. He's trying to tomato chest you. He's trying to go up strong and snatch the screws out the rim. Like, that type of tenacity, like that force, and he cares. Like, he actually gives it that.
So to what extent, Drapes, is Domas the Kings' emotional leader, or one of them?
I think he is.
It's a complicated question. It's not as simple as it should be.
Right. It's because his leading is a little different, right? It's not how should I put this?
He leads by example.
He leads by example, leads with his effort, coming to work every day, playing through the injuries that he's playing. You're right, Jay. He's a leader by example. We've seen him be vocal at times, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want him or somebody to be vocal towards the opponent, Like, if Highsmith is getting layup after layup, next time Highsmith coming down the lane, he's getting whacked. Like, that's, and Domas is a nice guy, though. That's not his MO, but he leads by example with his effort and energy. No doubt about that.
Two things. One, Domas is, I think, the only guy I've seen on the Kings you could see him barking at teammates on multiple occasions in the last 2 years. And then two, that Highsmith thing really got to you, didn't it? I mean, I understand. You keep mentioning it, and I get it. I understand. It's like, wow, you were not happy with the way he went off against the Kings.
No, not at all, man, because and he's a player. He's an NBA player. But it's like, how many times Highsmith had one of those Dwap Reith kind of games?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, who's this guy? If Jaime Jaquez beats you, okay. If Bam goes off for 40, okay. But you let Highsmith get 15 in the first half, I think it was, on you? Like, come on now. And so it's these no-name guys, no offense to them, they're NBA players, but guys that aren't at the top of the scouting report that have been beating you.
I hate to say it, but I was thinking about that in regards to tonight's game, and there's a player on the Nuggets that I thought, that's the guy that goes off tonight. I don't even want to mention it because I don't want to, talk that into reality. Zeke Naji is the guy. I'm just thinking, watch him throw in 15 tonight. But hopefully,
hopefully he does it because they're at full strength to an extent.
Yeah, I know.
They're at full strength. If Zeke Naji gets 15 when he averages 3.5 points per game, we're in some deep trouble.
I know. Here, I think, is an explanation for why the Kings are so up and down. And bear in mind, I'm not trying to bury the Kings or criticize them. I'm just saying, as fans, we go, what's going on? Why do they win, they lose? I think it has to do with their defense. Drapes, if you disagree, please. Well, I don't have to tell you. I'm sure I'll hear from you on it. But just a couple of defensive numbers here. And defensive metrics are really volatile because it's so hard to parse them out, like what's really going on. But I have a couple here. This is one, defensive win shares, which is an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player due to defense. Okay. Minnesota has 3. They have the top 3 in this metric. Boston has 5 in the top 32. Here's where the Kings rank on this. Domas is 22nd in the league. This is defensive win shares. De'Aaron Fox, 67th. Wow. Keegan is 81st. Herter is 150th. Malik is 153rd. And Barnes is 198th. So, again, these things are not always etched in stone.
Right.
But those are some pretty grim numbers. Defensive box plus minus, which estimates the defensive points per 100 possessions a player contributed above a league average, blah, blah, blah. Right. In that category, Minnesota has 4 in the top 20. Boston has 5 in the top 50. Here's where the Kings rank. Domas is 10th. Fox is 110th. Kevin Huerter is 122nd. Keegan is 131st. Monk is 149th. And Harrison Barnes is 166th. So,
I don't know about those numbers, Whitey. You knew I was going. Because when you say De'Aaron Fox was 67th in the first one that you mentioned,
that's
and
true,
then 100th.
Yeah.
Has he been that bad defensively, you think?
No, but they reflect how bad the team has been, too. And that's the thing. It's hard to take a guy out of the team concept.
Right.
Because these guys are on the floor at the same time as other guys.
Yes. And there's a reason why Minnesota will have 4 guys, because they're the best defensive team.
Yeah. Like Cat is second on one of these things. And
and we know Cat ain't no lockdown defender.
Right,
we know that.
But the point is, and I think we've said this before, the Kings really struggle to consistently guard people. And when you can't consistently guard people, you're going to have those games where what happened? You're going to be up, you're going to be down. That's where they are right now.
Yeah. I got my guy G-Man to the right.
Okay.
G-Man, I told the story about last time we were in this building. I was like, G-Man, how'd you make it up those steps? You had to be huffing and puffing. I was winded. You're like, Drapes, I just used the elevator. So today I used the elevator. I found the elevator. So thank you again. Like in the Mile High City and then having to climb those steps. Oh, my gosh. Your boy was out of it. Right.
You said you're a quick study?
He said, I always said you're a quick study.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is up here, though. This is like another mile. Like we're in the Mile High City. Now I feel like I'm another mile above the Mile High City. That's how far up it is.
Yeah, I got an NBA trivia question for you or the G-Man. Last night Max Strus made that long game winner.
Yeah.
And this is not that long ago. It's not like way back when. Who made the longest shot in NBA history? Do you know? Does G-Man know? Huh? Magic had one of them, but it's not the longest. Magic had
G-Man, Whitey's asking a trivia question. Who's made the longest shot in NBA history? I thought it was Magic Johnson that heaved. I think it was against the Rockets. That was like 90 feet or 89 or something like that.
89 is the Magic had like a 70-something footer. Somebody
Who was it, G? He can't. Way back. He says it was way back.
It was, I think it was 2001. It was Baron Davis.
Baron Davis.
89-footer. So he's like
89-footer.
5 feet from the baseline, and he throws it, and it goes in.
Wow, B. Diddy.
Yeah.
I just saw Baron Davis Saturday at UCLA, as a matter of fact.
Did you?
Just chopped it up with him. But, man, I thought you remember that Magic shot, right?
Yeah.
The Magic one. We all remember that. Yeah. So
and that was actually, I think Magic's was like a game winner. This one was just Baron Davis threw it in at the end of the third quarter or something.
Okay.
So,
wow. And Strus was, that was tremendous last night. And then a lot of people pulled up the Tyreek Evans Steve as well. So, no, that was great. That was great.
Yeah. What's G-Man? Is G-Man feeling good tonight?
Feeling positive tonight, G-Man, about this? No. Let's just, here he is right here. We're going to throw him on the headset so you guys can hear the smooth tones of Gary Gerald. All right, G-Man. How you feeling?
What's up, G-Man?
Well, you always want to be positive, and there's always legitimate hope that you can do it. But to beat this team for a fourth straight time, and they're fully healthy now, and we kind of conveniently forgot that when we were here a week or so ago. That Jamal Murray didn't play. Contavious Caldwell-Pope did not play. 2 starters, and, that's huge.
Yeah.
So, tonight, I think you better lace him up real tight.
Hey, Gary, how proud are you of Kyle for thinking to take the elevator this time?
Well, when I was walking my way from the locker room and came out, and I kind of looked up in this direction, and I thought, I bet Kyle remembered the elevator.
Hey, I only had to walk those steps once, and I was like, never again. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
It's not even at the top of the concourse, like the main level. You got to go up another level. And so, the elevator came in handy today, for sure.
You're talking about the long shots.
Yeah.
Baron Davis, that's 89 feet. And last night, I'm sure like many Kings fans, as soon as I saw Strus knock that one down from well behind the midcourt line, I'm immediately thinking about Tyreek Evans in the game against Memphis.
Yes.
O.J. Mayo had just hit a shot to give the Grizzlies the lead with, I think, like 1.4 seconds to go. No timeout. Inbound pass. Tyreek gathers and lets it fly from just behind the midcourt line, and it was the same euphoria.
Yeah.
You know,
You remember the call from that game? Like, you remember?
I remember it for a couple of reasons, because Fat Lever was sitting in with us doing color commentary, and Fat was so excited, all you heard was,
That's awesome.
G-Man, when I was looking this up, I don't remember this, but Herb Williams is on the list for one he made against the Kings way like 1980 something. Do you remember that one?
By Indiana?
Yes.
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah. It's going way back. So
that's way back.
That's going way back.
Yeah.
Herb Williams, there was a tough hombre right there.
Right.
Oh,
I
man.
remember Herb.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
You checked all your joints after you played him to make sure that everything was still
in place.
MRI needed? Well, maybe.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
G-Man, have a great call. We appreciate your time as always.
Right. Thank you, guys.
All right, G-Man. Thanks, man.
Right. We got Kyle and the G-Man in Denver. When we come right back, which Joker are the Kings going to see tonight? Next, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
The Kings visit the defending champion Denver Nuggets tonight on Sactown Sports.
And again, Fox pokes it away. Grabbed by Sabonis. Throws it ahead. Fox runs under it. Goes for the two-hand flush.
Catch the Kings and the Champs tonight at 6 on your home for Kings basketball, Sactown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no accounts to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You're faced with a long shot in the heavy rough. Now what? Jessica Marksberry writes in Golf Magazine that while hybrids have made these shots a bit easier to deal with, lengthy shots from heavy rough are still a significant challenge. Top 100 teacher Tina Toombs says the first thing you need is loft and a specific mindset over the ball. You need to hold onto the club firmer with your left hand to prevent the club from grabbing the grass. You can elect to play in the back of your stance or play it forward. Now, playing it forward makes the swing a bit steeper so it can stay open more and the ball comes out of the rough better. She says a 7-wood makes it easier than a hybrid for longer shots. The ball comes out low, but rolls a long way because of topspin. And if all else fails, she says bailing out is an option too, and there's no shame in taking your medicine to avoid compounding your initial error. If you're really not sure, take your 9-iron and get it out. Don't risk topping it and leaving it in the rough. Good luck out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Drive Guys taking you up to game night, bottom of the hour. We have here, before we get any further, before we get to the phones, get to what Perk told us, Jay and Kyle, and I think we may have the YouTube chat comment of the day. And I think it's a candidate for YouTube chat comment of the year.
Already? It's February.
Yeah. Now, it has to do with Drapes, so I think, Jay, you should be the judge on this.
No, I want Drapes to be the judge, jury, and executioner.
What are we going with? This?
Well, I just think this is a chat comment of the day, and I think it's a candidate for comment of the year. What do you guys think? From Ryan Williams Art.
This guy.
Drapes used the elevator. Was his wallet in there?
Oh, man.
You see what I'm talking about, Jay?
Then he threw in the LOL. So
I'm too nice to people.
I know, man.
Ryan Lucky, his wife is my daughter's history teacher. This is the guy who's my daughter is in his wife's history class.
Oh, that's right.
And so my daughter needs a good grade in there. So I'm not going to diss him right now. I'll wait till after the school year.
He's got the golden envelope on you and the family right now. Come May, June, that's all she wrote.
He's got immunity. Yeah.
Come Memorial Day weekend, it's on, big fella. I'll be in them streets. Where Ryan Williams are at? I'm ready for him. Let's go.
You say you're too nice to people, but then we have this from Brandon Dietzman. Draper, I think your mind was on Highsmith when I said hey to you during halftime on Monday, LOL. So I don't know, maybe you were, maybe you're working or something and you didn't really have time for.
You know how it is, right?
He's in his zone.
You can't say hi to every Yahoo out there, big fella. You ain't gonna get no work done. You know what I mean? No offense, Brandon. Not that you're a Yahoo, but I'll tell you what. I'm sorry.
Walking back, dog.
Sometimes you don't hear them. You know what I mean? You're busy.
Yeah.
And plus, I'll be honest with you. When I do those pre and post game shows, and I got Mike Bibby next to me, I put my head down because I'm like, ain't nobody here for me. There'd be a line of 20 or 30 people waiting to get pictures and autographs with Mike Bibby. So it messes with my ego a little bit. So I just try and tune it all out.
Wow.
So I might not have heard that.
It's all right, man. You know what? Next time, because when I do come in, Kyle doesn't really do too much of the pre and post anymore, but I would always dap him up before I walk out. So I'm going to make sure if my boy is over there under the NBC Sports, affiliation and the Kings, of course, here, I'm going to dap him up, man. I'm going to get a picture too, Drapes. Don't worry about it.
And don't go to Mike Bibby first.
No, absolutely not.
Make Mike wait until after you dap me up and then be like, all right, Mike, now you got him. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, you know what? I'll take a picture with you, Mike. Come on, bro.
Yeah. And then Brandon, that's what Brandon's trying to do is boost your ego a little bit, and I guess you shut him down. So
I tell you what, I didn't have that problem when Kenny Thomas was there. Because ain't nobody want. I'm throwing shade right now. Kenny's
I'm
my guy.
texting Kenny right now. He's coming on.
We should get Kenny
Get
on.
him on,
soon.
yeah.
Let's get him on soon. Man.
Get him
That's
on.
our guy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We did have Kendrick Perkins on today. He was on ESPN, made some news about the Kings. Went went viral, but there was a lot of talk about it on social media about Kendrick Perkins saying, "Hey, Domas is he's an MVP candidate." There was even some derision, some laughter from the others on the set. And so when Big Perk joined us, we asked him, "What'd you think?" Other people on the set laughing when you said Sabonis was an MVP candidate.
It ain't the first time. But I'm here to tell the people in the audience what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Right? So they needed to hear this about Sabonis. Whether, I feel like their reaction to it was right or wrong, that's on them, and they got to deal with the Sacramento Kings fans, not me. You know what I'm saying? My point is that I'm here to educate the audience and shine light on this young man who's not getting the proper respect or just due that we supposed to be giving him. He got disrespected in the All-Star game, and now we talk about these numbers with MVPs, and here we are. And, it's not the first time, right? I said a lot of things on the shows or whatever, and facial expressions look at me crazy. Then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, the apologies start coming in.
You think some apologies are going to be coming his way after the laughter?
Nah. Shanae ain't going to apologize. She ain't going to apologize.
Does she know who Domas is?
Exactly. She might not even watch the games or anything like that. And that's the thing that, when you talk about the slander and bias towards Sacramento, you got a lot of people that just don't watch Kings games.
I know.
That are supposedly NBA experts talking on the NBA, but they just don't watch. And so that's where that national appearances, TNT games, ABC games, come into a factor, because then they're watching the national games. They're not sitting at home on League Pass on a Monday night watching us take on the Charlotte Hornets or whoever it may be. And so a lot of times you got some of these people that are speaking on things they aren't even qualified. They aren't even knowledgeable of.
Hey, Drapes, look at this from Brandon Morales. I started the Draper chant a couple games ago while everyone else was chanting, Bibby, Bibby, Bibby. How about that?
My guy. That's my guy. See, there's a few of us out there, but, man, we were, it was like Clippers Kings on Sunday. Those Mike Bibby chants, man, they far outweighed the Drapes chants, man.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. TC joining us here on Sactown Sports. What's up, TC?
Yes, sir. Drake, Whitey, what's going on?
Hey, what can we do for you?
TC?
Hey, man, I'm just trying to
turn your radio down, bro. All right, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, you got me? You got me better?
Yeah.
Okay, look, check it out. Now, hey, Drake, you look at Sheriff up there, man. What you got, this plain T-shirt on? What kind of tee is that, man? You ain't got the fit on, man. You looking nice. I see you.
Oh, you can't. Hey, I got the fit right here behind me, big dog. This is the First Company T-shirt I'm rocking. It's a local T-shirt company in Sacramento. You know I'm supporting the Sacramento people. One of my guys, he runs a T-shirt company, the First Company. So check it out. So I'm supporting him out there.
Okay, for sure. You know what? I'm gonna check that out. Hey, look, Whitey, as far as Domas, check it out. As far as Domas making an All-Star game, and listen, Big Perk is with us. That's why I love Perk, man. He loves Sacramento. He ain't even got to come out and say it. I love Big Perk, but check it out. Hey, the only thing that matters right now is getting that 5th or 6th seed and making some noise in the playoffs and winning the series. I want Domas to be MVP. You know how dope that would be? Oh, Sacramento Kings got a one MVP player, Domas. The All-Star game, that's all fine and dandy. But listen, what really matters is the guys, what they're doing right now, buckling down, how they buckled down since before the All-Star game and after the All-Star game. I know that was a clunker the other night, but they buckled down. Buckle down, get the 5th or 6th seed, bro, and let's make some noise in the playoffs. Let's go, man.
Let's go. Thank you, TC. The Kings need a bunch from the bench tonight, and which Joker will they see tonight? We'll come right back with that as we wrap things up here. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Let's go, Sacramento.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Which Joker will the Kings see tonight? The Kings against the Nuggets. Kyle Draper in Denver, getting ready to do his duties. Just a quick look at this. Interesting when you look at the way Joker has played so far against the Kings in 3 games. In the first game, he was great. December 2nd, Joker was 36, 13, and 14. It's like, whoa. The next game, February 9th, he was 23, 8, and 7. Then on Valentine's Day when they played, when it looked like half of the Nuggets were like, we should already be on vacation, he was 15, 5, and 8. So how much of the credit for that do we have to give to Domas, you think?
I think Domas and the Kings as a whole, they frustrated, the Joker last time out. It was Aaron Gordon that had the big game, 25 and 15. I think, what we've seen, and give the coaching staff some credit, give the players credit. I feel like, and Mike Brown talked about this before the game the last time they played the Nuggets. You don't want to let Joker get his 25 and 30 and also his 10 to 15 assists. Like, you got to take away something. And they did a heck of a job, I thought, taking away both ends, And I expect, honestly, after beating them 3 times, this Denver team is going to be ready tonight. Like, this is a big-time matchup. This is one of those no-excuses games if the Kings win. You beat the Clippers, but they didn't have Paul George. You beat Denver, but they weren't at full strength. No, this Denver team is ready. They're playing good basketball. They've won their last 3, I believe. Joker's, 3 straight triple-doubles. Jamal Murray averaging 25, I think, over his last 3. And so, no, this is, if we can limit him, and I also think, too, because they were shorthanded, you could put a little more attention on Joker. Like, if you got Jamal Murray out there, you got KCP out there, you got Michael Porter, then you got to pay attention to all those guys and then trying to guard Joker as well. And so I'm interested to see how we defend him tonight.
As you mentioned earlier, Kyle, we have tonight 2 centers going head-to-head. They both bring streaks of 3 triple-doubles in a row into the game against each other. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but we do know that Kendrick Perkins was with us today since he said on ESPN today that Domas is an MVP candidate. And here, Perk explained to us why he thinks that's the case.
I have Jason Tatum as my front runner, okay, for us winning the MVP. It shouldn't be held against him because of the personnel that's surrounding him. If we're going to throw out these numbers that all these other players are doing, SGA, he's He scored 43. He scored 30 points 43 times. You see what Jokic is doing down there in Denver with triple doubles. Okay, that's cool. I'm not knocking any one of those guys. But if that's what we're going to base it on, then how about talking about Sabonis?
Mm-hmm.
Sabonis is leading the league in triple doubles. He's leading the league in double doubles. He's averaging 20, 13, and 8. So, and his team is winning. Like, they're what, 7 games or 6 games above 500? So in a tough Western Conference. So what is the conversation? And so my thing is, and this is why I said earlier today, is that we got to set some type of standard, right? A criteria. Our criteria is best player with good numbers on the best team with the winning record. Last year I voted for Giannis. I'm standing on business, and looks like it's going to be Jason Tatum for me. But that's okay. My thing is, why is Sabonis not mentioned? Or it's a problem when you do mention his name.
Basketball Reference MVP award tracker. Again, this is based on how voting has gone in the past. So they have most likely to win the MVP this year. They have Jokic first, Shea second, Luka third, Giannis fourth most likely, and then Tatum, and then Domas is sixth. So,
okay.
I mean, it's hard to find anything that would put you to a point where you disagree with what Kendrick Perkins said today.
No, you're right. And, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I think we all can agree. Domas is in the MVP conversation. Won't win it. We understand that. But let's say you do top 7. He has to be in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The notion that somebody would scoff and laugh at it and, oh, what, that guy? What? Like, that's how it came off watching ESPN today.
Right.
And that's disrespectful. If he would have said Anthony Davis, there wouldn't have been that level of disrespect. They would have actually weighed the merits of it. And it just, man, you know, I'm gonna cut it to you straight. As a broadcaster, ESPN used to be the gold standard, like the place you wanted to work, the place that you felt like if you got there, you made it. And now I'm watching it every day just because I got it on in the background, and I get frustrated with some of their takes and some of their discussion topics. And I don't know if it's the Sacramento in me now or whatever it is, but you know, it feels like there's only 3 or 4 teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors, Lakers, Celtics, Clippers, and maybe Bucks.
Right.
Everything after that, nobody else matters. Like
right.
even the Nuggets don't get the shine that they deserve.
That's true.
And on an ESPN platform. And so it's frustrating out there.
Yeah, Jamal Murray is vastly underrated. He's a great player. I do wonder if maybe the fact that Domas did not get named to the All-Star team, maybe when it comes time to vote on the awards, if that actually works in his favor where people are more aware, like, wow, he sure got snubbed. He's really a good player. Maybe in a backwards way that works in his favor if people, you know, heed all of this talk about how underrated he is and how he was snubbed. Maybe he ends up second team All-NBA. I think he certainly deserves consideration for that, and maybe it actually ends up helping him get some notice.
Yeah, I think so. I think he should be All-NBA again this year. I mean, he's having a better season. I mean, you know, and their record is pretty similar. You know, I go back and I look at the past MVP winners. And you got Embiid from Philly, Jokic, Giannis, Harden. And so, to me, as I look at this, any team LeBron's on is going to get the shine when it comes to the national media. They're going to get the attention. Same thing with Steph Curry, Giannis. Those guys are flashy. They're you know, part of the brand of the NBA. But then you look at some of the outliers. Like, to me, Jokic is kind of an outlier. Like, Denver, you would think, would be on prime time all the time.
Mm-hmm.
National TV. You know, they would be talked about more because of Jokic. But he doesn't have that sex appeal, that draw like some of these other stars. And I put Sabonis in that category. He's not going to move the social media needle. You talk about Sabonis, it's not going to go viral. But at the end of the day, when you watch the games, he's probably the most impactful Sacramento King.
Drapes, can you give us one of your keys to the game tonight? I know earlier we talked to Chris Marlowe. He talked about how the Kings bench has gotten the better of the Nuggets a couple times this year. That's one of the keys.
Yes, no doubt about it, and especially with the Nuggets being full strength. Like, if the Kings bench can deliver, and the bench has been struggling as of late. Malik Monk, I think it's 11 points per game over his last 3. And so I want to see, the Kings bench when I look at the numbers between these two teams, Denver doesn't turn the ball over much.
No, they don't.
So if you can force some turnovers, which is a lot to ask for, I think that'll go a long way, obviously, in defending them. They're top 6 in points in the paint. So limit their points in the paint. They don't like to run as much. Yeah, they're not a fast break team. So maybe if you can get into a track meet against these guys and get some easy baskets, you got De'Aaron Fox out there. You got a fast team out there. And so look for some pace tonight against this Denver team.
Yeah, a win tonight for the Kings would go a long ways towards erasing some of the bad feelings that linger from Monday night.
Yeah, exactly. And this, when you got an 82-game schedule, that's the great part about it, right, Whitey? You have a disappointing loss, but you can not erase it, but, throughout the season, there are going to be games you should win that you lose and games you should probably lose that you win. And so maybe this game, maybe Friday's game against Minnesota, you win those two, Monday doesn't sting as hard, as much.
Drapes, we'll be watching you on NBC Sports California. Thanks. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and stick around because game night is next as we get ready for the Kings and the Nuggets on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento